Now, scope and purpose of business ethics. I think I have completed ethics in compliance, ethics in finance, and ethics in marketing. Okay, let's just revise that part. Now, here we are trying to understand what are the major problems that you can come across in the important functional areas of the business ethics. Okay, so in what all levels can you see the problems? That is what we are going to learn here. So first, ethics in compliance. When you have to follow any rules and regulations, you have to follow it, no matter how difficult it is to follow, or you don't like to follow, but still you are supposed to follow the rules and regulations compulsorily. So in that case, what will happen when you are asked to do the work which you don't like, then there will be some of the other problems which arises. So that is why you are expected to maintain the ethics. You have to follow the rules and regulations properly and stick to that, so that it is ethical in nature. And it is very important for the department to be organized when it comes to ethics. There should be a system which should be in place. There should be a monetary system. Monitor system means, now suppose one is doing the work, there should be someone else who should be checking the work. Now, why this checking the work came? Because people can get easily distracted. Okay, people can get easily distracted. That is the main reason why they are they are having the supervisors or the people who monitor. So that is why you will have your boss monitoring your work. If not, nobody will be there to guide. First thing. The second thing is, you can do whatever you want. So that is the main reason why they'll have the boss or the superior will be in the organization. They will try to get you into the track and say, see, the organization works in the different system. If at all they don't follow any rules according to the law or something, then they will be penalized, or they'll have to pay the fine. So that is ethics in compliance. Next, ethics in finance. Now, in ethics in finance, finance is a more complex part of the subject, because finance itself is a big ocean where we have lot of things to cover. So in such scenario, what is going to happen is, we'll have to be very careful while following the ethics in finance. Company will define certain roles and responsibilities for the employees. If you're the manager in the finance department, so what is your work? Okay, that's called job description. So you will have to check the job description before you getting into the work. What is the work that you're exactly doing? Maybe for the first time when you're working, no, when you're getting into the company, you might not understand every job description. But once you start working and learning things there, then the next time you want to change, you will first check the job description and then only join. So the finance department, all the material, that balance sheet and profit and loss and whatever project reports, everything that they get, that has to be very transparent and true in nature. They cannot get misleaded, or they cannot mislead anybody by giving some artificial numbers or making up the sentences and giving over explanations. All that will not be entertained. It is not ethical also. And no bribery, no overbilling. Simply just because company is repaying you on some amount, you cannot just collect everyone's bill and ask company to pay. Okay, that is not good. And fake reimbursement. Fake reimbursements means you will just create a bill for the amount. Now sometimes what will happen, you would have bought some stationery. Let's say emergency, you have bought some stationery. That stationery was costing you only 80 rupees. Okay, now what you will do, you will round it off and you'll not make it 100, but you'll say, okay, give me a bill for 150 rupees. Okay, so that is fake reimbursement. Now if you get this, if you show this bill to the company and they add it to their accounts and they pay you, that will become fake reimbursement. So when it comes to finance, you have to be very ethical, very transparent. There are a lot of people who does fraud, who try to give briberies. They try to take more compensations. They just try to take more money out of the company, and the finance department has to control all that. That is why finance department is there in the company. So they have to be careful and make sure that there are more rules in place. Okay, so now companies, every company does the double check. They does the double check of the bills. And there are many scenarios where they will not present the bill, but they will present the payment receipt. Now what is this payment receipt? If you have used your debit card or credit card, you get that after you use the machine. If you use the debit card in the machine, you get that receipt that your payment is done. Okay, so that will say only final amount that is paid. Okay, so that many companies will not accept that. You have to give the actual bill of whatever you have purchased. Along with that, if you give payment receipt, then it is an extra proof, but you'll have to produce the bill first and then only the payment receipt. So there is a lot of things to be avoided in the companies. So companies will make sure they have lot of rules in place when it comes to ethics in finance. Then ethics in marketing. Ethics in marketing is one area which is very much ignored even till today. Okay, there are certain places where they follow, but then not completely. Any part of it where we feel it is unethical, they say it is business. Okay, but still there's a lot of contrary decisions that keeps happening with ethics and the real scenarios. Okay, so in marketing, when you see a product, if the price is fixed at a very high level, or they don't sell the products for certain type of people, or they sell the products at very very less price, and then they increase the price at once, all these are not ethical part of the marketing. And very misleading as advertisements, this we see it on a day to day basis. Lot of misleading advertisements are there. Okay, and then when it comes to content of the advertisements, see, directly you cannot put down the other product in the advertisements. Okay, if there are two competitive products, you cannot show the other product directly and say this product is not good. Okay, that is not the content of the advertisement at all. You can praise your product, you can say yes, my product is very good and all that you can say, but you cannot put down the other products. So that is important, you have to understand. One more thing is, the advertisements has to be understood by everybody, correct, right? But there are certain wellness advertisements which children might get affected with. So whenever the company does the advertisement ad, they have to make sure all the necessary warnings has to be given in the advertisement. Now you would have observed, if you're watching a movie, any movie where they use alcoholic drinks, or where they use these cigarette scenes and all that, you will see a warning at the lower part of the screen. Okay, usually in the left bottom corner you will see one warning which say, smoking and drinking is injurious to health, correct? So that warning has to be there compulsorily, but that warning alone is not enough. There should be some more steps that has to be done along with that. Okay, so that is the content of advertisements. Then black markets, gray markets, which means they are unofficial markets. They would have bought the products which should not be officially sold. So those are black markets. Or you buy the products at a very, very less price from one place and sell it at a high price in the other place. So that is also black marketing or black market. So all this is not ethical. Sometimes they stop the supply of any product. That will be manipulation of supply. I gave an example of onion and potatoes being held back. They don't give the supply. When there is no supply, the demand will increase tremendously. Now when the demand increases too much, they will be able to pay any price. Okay, so that is why they will try to hold the supply, which is not the ethical ways of doing it. Or if you're getting into a unofficial contract, all that is not part of ethics in marketing. You have to be true and transparent to the extent possible. Now moving on to ethics in human resource. Human resource management is one of the most difficult part in a company actually, because dealing with people and understanding their mindset and making the work environment more comfortable is a challenge for a company. So always they will have employee employer relationship, and this employee employer relationships will have lot of ethical issues, because everybody will have their own perception, they'll have their own understanding of the concept, which can have a which can have lot of controversial issues. So they'll have to sit down and discuss face to face and resolve the maximum part of issues. Okay, now let us see few of the issues that are commonly there in the HRM. The common issues are discrimination issues. So there can be discrimination based on age, gender, race, religion. Okay, all that they can have lot of discrimination, which is to maximum extent does not happen nowadays, but still there are many places where such discrimination happens on the basis of age, gender, race, religion, disabilities, okay, weight, and etc. Then sexual harassment. This is another big topic where a lot of awareness is being done, is trying to be conducted. There'll be a lot of training part or training things, sessions that will happen in every company. Okay, then issues surrounding the representation of employees and democratization of the workplace. So we have to understand how is the hierarchy in the company, who will be reporting to who will have to listen to which person. Okay, all that you will have to understand. You will have to make things clear, and reporting to a wrong person will not fetch you any good information. You'll have to know who is your superior, who is the next higher person to learn or get guidance or get your work verified. Then issues affecting the privacy of the employee. So what happens is, many of them try to mix up their personal life with the workplace. Okay, so which is not the right thing to do. So in such situations they can have lot of issues affecting on their actual work. They'll not be able to work, or they will not have concentration on work part. Okay, they'll be very careless in doing the work because their mind is not here. They're filled with some other issues. So privacy of the employee, if it is affecting, either it is affecting from the home or it is affecting from the workplace, they have to be very, very careful. This again, a part of it again can lead to the sexual harassment part or any sort of harassment part. Then issues affecting privacy of the employer. Now employer, employee, executive, anybody for that matter, they have to be very sincere towards the organization, do their work and finish it. They should not try to conduct or do any fraud in the organization. Fine. So here whistleblowing means they would have seen something going wrong in the organization, and they would immediately complain that or bring that to others notice. So that is known as whistleblowing. Others means the required person who will take action on that wrong thing happening in the company. They will inform them. So that is whistleblowing. Sometimes whistleblowing is rewarding, okay, but it affects to a greater extent in a wrong way. It's very dangerous also, because if that information is not correct, the company's name and fame and everything, all the trust would go into waits. Okay, so all that will have to be careful before person is trying to go for a whistleblowing or become a whistleblower. Then issues relating to fairness of the employment contract and balance of power between employer and employee. So you should not give all the power to the superior person and there is no power at all for subordinate. That is not how it goes. Certain rules or certain responsibilities, like we can say it as responsibilities, more responsibilities which can be handled by the employee will be given to them. A little more responsibilities will be given to the employer, because we know that the employer is capable of handling it. And moreover, the one should not be discriminated too much in the employee contract. That's not the right thing. So they should be given a chance to prove themselves, and then only they should give them the position of the uh, position whatever the company has decided. Then occupational safety and health, how company has to maintain the employees safety, especially if it's a manufacturing company. They have to be even more careful, because they'll have huge missions where people will be working on the missions. Many times they'll not hear others voice or any instructions because of the mission noises that keeps happening. So occupational safety and health is very important in every company, where they will see both physical as well as mental health of the company nowadays. So both will has to be taken care of. If individual is not able to do it, they can seek help with the people available. So they would probably have a counselor. Counselor means a person who will come and listen to you, try to analyze your problems and help you out in coming out of, if there are any mental health issues, or if it's physical issues, you can get yourself tested with the doctor and all that. Okay, they will try to help, the company will try to help you out with the insurance part that they have given. So that is occupational safety and health. So these are few common uh, problems or issues that will be faced in the company. So there will be solutions for this. There are more strict rules which have been brought into place. There are a lot of laws which has been followed by the company to resolve such issues. Then company tends to shift economic risk onto the shoulder of their employees. The boom of performance related pay systems and flexible employment contracts are indicators of newly established form of shifting risk. So what they're saying is, the company does not want to take all the blame, so they would try to shift that blame to the employees shoulders. How do they do that? If at all the employee is not working properly, just because of them the company has not grown. Okay, may be true, but it is not 100%. uh, but then now you have a lot of flexible contracts, or flexible part in every work. So they will not, so before you were supposed to get into the company at 9 or 8:30, and only then, only when it is night 9 or 10, you will be able to leave the company. Correct? But now you have a little flexible rules. You do, and every in a week you are supposed to work on all 6 days. Now you have more flexibility. You will have a little timing. You can adjust the timing according to the shift whatever you are working, and according to the work time that is required, so that you can balance rest of the life activities also. So that is how they are giving more freedom now for them to be flexible. So these are a few things of HRM. Now coming to ethics in production. Now, ethics in production, this is mainly relating to the manufacturing products, which are huge, big manufacturing products. Let's take, for example, electronic goods, any sort of electronic goods, your washing machine, TV, fridge, and oven, home appliances, mixer, grinder, anything you can take. Now, if they are manufacturing any of such goods, or if it is any other harmful goods, then what they have to make sure is the uh, safety of the customer. Okay, safety of the customer, safety of the employee, both has to be important, because employee will be there while production is happening, and they have to make sure that the employee is very safe. So if they have to give them a coat or some uniform which protects them from any hazardous things, and for their safety, if you're giving them some body belt or helmets, all that has to be used. Now let us see what are the issues faced in production. Defective, addictive, and inherently dangerous products and services. So these manufacturing of all these addictive goods, okay, and dangerous products, okay, in these companies, it's a little complicated, because chemical products, maybe chemical manufacturing, they'll have to be extra careful. So they should know which two ingredients they have to mix. If they mix the wrong ingredients, there can be a very bad impact of it. So they have to be very careful, and they have to also see which is illegal and which is legal to be used in the country. Okay, certain chemicals will be banned in the country, and they have to not use those chemicals. And when it comes to drugs, weapons, weapon manufacturings, alcohol, tobacco, all these also, which are dangerous products, which are addictive, very addictive products, many of them are. So they have to make sure that they try to not do it, but then it is already into the system, so they have to be very careful in it. Then ethical relations between the company and the environment. So we are taking a lot of things from the environment. We are using the water, we are many places they are using the air, windmills, they're using windmills to convert that energy into different things, right? So when we are taking so much, what are we giving it to the nature? All that we are giving to the nature is the pollution. So this pollution, how do we treat it? Okay, there is complete environmental act which talks about how the companies should follow the rules and regulations while setting up a factory for manufacturing. Now each factory will have different rules to follow. Okay, each type of factory, that what I mean is. And then they should also not leave out or give the waste, because every industry will have lot of waste coming out of them. So how do they treat the waste? Are they just going to throw it? Because if they throw it, that will cause the land pollution. If they're putting that into water, it causes water pollution. If they're leaving it to the air, that is when they have this big chimneys, and when they leave it to the air, that will cause air pollution. So there are a lot of pollutions that will be done by the companies. So they have to make sure that they check all that before doing the manufacturing. Then ethical problems arising out of new technologies, genetically modified food. Now there are lot of new technology usage that can be done. So to what extent is that artificial food correct? Now we have already heard about China coming up with the plastic rice, plastic vegetables, because the food was not enough for the people there, right? So all this, how, to what extent is it true, or to what extent is it correct to do all this just because there is no enough food to eat? Okay, so all that should be avoided. If it needs more attention, they have to sit down and have a discussion. If it requires any intervention of the government in any part, in any case, then they have to seek government help. Then product testing has to be done very carefully and sincerely, because every individual product will be used by the individual person. Okay, let's say for example, the mobiles we buy. Now when we buy mobile, we will have to be, once we on the mobile, let's say the battery was not good. Now once we on the mobile, the battery was, since the battery was not good, the mobile phone exploded. So that is a very very risky part for any consumer. So every product has to be checked twice. They will have certain rounds of checking the product before it is released to the market. The defective pieces will be taken away separately. Either they recycle it, okay, they recycle it, or they will have different ways to treat that electronic parts. So these are few of the issues that might arise in production. They'll have to make sure that the employees wear all the safety equipments before getting into the work. Even if it is now, we had been to the TVS company, we saw people, having uniform. Few places they had helmet, which is compulsory for them to wear. They were wearing gloves. Okay, but by then nobody was wearing the mask and everything, so they were wearing the gloves. And they had a system even to walk inside the campus. They would not walk on the roads. Okay, they have a footpath separately to walk. So all that system has to be followed. Now coming to ethics of intellectual property, knowledge and skills. Now before me going getting into this point, do you have any doubts until here? Can I continue? Okay. Now, ethics of intellectual property, knowledge, and skills. Now, who are this intellectual property, knowledge, and skills is an asset to the company. Okay. Now, if an employee or employer, anybody has, worked, put in their all the hard work, and they have found something to the when inside the company, which adds on to lot of, you know uh, not only name and fame, but it also makes process very easier. It saves the money of the for the company. Then they, all that will be considered under intellectual property, knowledge and skills. So let us see how this is done. Who has the greater rights to an idea? The company who trained the employee or the employee themselves. As a result, attempts to assert ownership and ethical disputes over the ownership arise. Now what will happen sometimes, if a person A has, let's say, found out a new equipment. Okay, that A would have found the equipment by himself. Now there is a problem here. What is the problem? Should he register that new equipment in his name, or should he give the company's name, saying that, see, I was, as an employee of the company, I am part of the company where I uh, came out with this new equipment. So there are certain clashes that can happen between the company and the employee in such scenarios. So let us see what are the clashes that can happen. So the practice of employing all the most talented people in a specified field, regardless of need, in order to prevent any competitors employing them. So this is one thing which people, the companies, big companies will do. They will see all the best skilled employees, and they will take them into that company. Why do they do that? So that the competitors don't hire them. So because if competitors hire them, then it is a problem for my company, because these people have some special skills which will help me in fetching more profit. So that is another issue which cannot happen. You cannot hire every other person even when there is no need of hiring people. Okay, simply too many people on one job, they will mess it up. They will not make it correctly. Then employee rating, the practice of attracting key employees away from the competitor to take unfair advantage of knowledge and skills. So this happens on the higher level of management, not at the lower level. Okay, in the higher level of management, a CEO can resign and join some other company. Okay, now why do they do that? They will give you more monetary payments, they'll give you more services, they make sure your work timings are more flexible. In all those scenarios, the only reason for them doing that is more knowledge and skills the person possesses along with the experience. Now if the person is very well experienced in the same field, he will be able to work much better than a fresher, right? So that is why they will try to hire all the key employees, especially when it comes to board of directors and CEO, CFO, the financial manager part, okay, accounts managers, all of these people will be taken care of. Then patent misuse and copyrights misuse. Now in patent misuse, it would have been done by, or it would have been invented by somebody else, but they don't give the credit for them. Okay, they just take it in the company's name sometimes. So that is patent misuse. The actual owner of the product will not get the credit. And then copyright misuse. Other companies can, directly copy the product without informing or without putting any application. So that is copyright misuse. You should not misuse the technology or any knowledge for that matter. Okay, see, these are few of the things. These are actually complicated part, because intellectual property is not something which you can take away from a person. Okay, knowledge and skills is not something you can take away from a person, but you can use it from a person. So that misuse, using is good, but misusing it is bad. So that is what they're trying to say. Then ethics in technology. So this computer world has lot of things to surf on. Okay, we have Google Chrome, Yahoo, Bing. There's a lot of websites which give us more information. But the thing is, data mining, you just take away lot and lot of data from the people. The personal data will be taken away from the people. There's more of hacking that takes place. That hacking is not ethical. So you have professionals who do hacking, who work for the government, who help them to come out with lot of intelligence reports which is required for the country. So uh, taking away the personal data is privacy invasion. Our personal data, maybe our date of birth, mail IDs, and full names, and Aadhaar card numbers or account numbers, passwords, that is all privacy invasion. So which is not at all ethical in the company when with relating to technology. So these are scope of business ethics. These 7 points are very important. Expected 14 marks question, which has come for I think 3 times out of 5 exams. It's come for 3 times. So study this well. If you remember few points here, you can write rest of the points, but while writing the answers, be more practical. Okay, be more practical. Imagine yourself working in a company, okay, where what sort of problems you might think that can arise. If you think like that and write, only then you will be able to answer for business ethics. Mind it. If not, it's very difficult to remember any answer in business ethics. So always get into that part. Whenever you see a question, get into that part or the character, and then analyze the answer. Only then you'll be able to write the sentences. Okay, clear? Any doubts? Understood everything? Yes or no? Okay. Now moving further, social responsibilities, ethics of business towards different stakeholders. This is another 14 marks question. Explain briefly the social responsibilities of business ethics. Explain briefly the ethics towards different stakeholders. Okay, so let us see what are the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are people who are interested to know about the company. Okay, they are more interested to understand what the company is. So that they are stakeholders. Now let us see stakeholders ethics one by one. First, employees. Now employees are the people who wants to know about the company, because if company has enough money, only then they will be able to give salaries to the employees, give them good working environment, they don't mind paying them allowances and all that. So when it comes to employees, security of job, better working conditions. So if you think your job is very secured and if you like the environment, you are very much interested in finishing the work rather than being very careless. Okay, so here security of job is very important for any person to work in that particular company. And then better recommendation. Now recommendation, there is again a issue of uh, thinking, is it ethical or unethical?